Oh yeah, did you guys see this? Speaking of boys, or Boise, right? It's Boise. Speaking of Boise, look what they and Salt Lake City did. In response to state bans on the display of non-official flags, they made the pride flags official city flags. Look at this. In Salt Lake City, they made the goddamn progress flag. See, it's got the little, it's an official flag. The Democratic-controlled cities of Salt Lake City and Boise. Okay, to be fair, basically all major cities are Democrat-controlled. Adopted new city flags this week showing support for LGBTQ plus people in defiance of their state's Republican-controlled legislatures, which have banned traditional rainbow pride flags at schools and government buildings. But now they can show them because they're official city flags. I think it's brilliant. Also, by the way, way more balls on these city councilors voting for this than the average federal Democrat. You know, this is such an obvious, like, thumbing your nose at a reactionary rule. It's so belligerent compliance, exactly. Malicious compliance, yeah. It's lovely. You know, they're mad about that. Utah's capital, Salt Lake City, created new flag designs, while Boise, the capital of Idaho, made the traditional pride flag one of its official city flags. The move in Utah came hours before a ban on unsanctioned flag displays took effect Wednesday. Before the ban! I didn't even know that. So at no point that, like, no interruption in the, that means that the state officials had to watch them pass the adoption of the city flag right before it took effect. I think that's delightful. My sincere intent is not to provoke or cause division, said Salt Lake City Mayor Mendenhall. My intent is to represent our city's values and honor our dear diverse residents who make up this beautiful city and the legacy of pain and progress they've endured. Fucking based? Yeah, I've heard Salt Lake City is actually a pretty good place to live. The weather might be a little bit taxing at times. At least that's what I've heard. I mean, it's Utah, you know, it's a little dusty out there. But I've heard Salt Lake City's, don't they have like a decent tram network, or at least they're building one? They have plans for a good one. Isn't it Mormon Central? Well, Utah is controlled by Mormons. But Salt Lake City is, like all large cities, pretty big on with the, you know, Democrats. They have world-class crack climbing. Okay.
On April 28th, I signed an official proclamation that retroactively established 3 flags as official Boise flags. The blue flag, the one we love, with a monochrome image of the Capitol building and the words Boise City of Trees. The rainbow flag, commonly referred to as a pride flag, and the flag that represents and gives voice to the fact that we are a welcoming city, and a flag honoring National Donate Life Month. We are...
Why are local Dems so much more combative than federal Dems? Is it just money? Yep, pretty much. Every congressman and every senator is going to be swimming in, if not money, like adjacency to money, lobbyists, what have you. As a city councilor, though, I mean, they probably get a decent amount of that, but the stakes are a lot lower, and at that level, I think you can probably be a city councilor for a large city and basically not get bothered, like, that much, relatively speaking. Also, I think it's easier to be combative on a lower level there because everything feels a little bit more down home. You know, you feel like a little bit more of a resident of the place that you govern, whereas for Congress or the Senate, like everyone, they move from all over the country to the federal, you know, office. It's sort of, you feel like more of a guest of the seat of power rather than like a true occupant of it. So it's a little more, feel like people have a little more personality at the lower level.
Changing the system because we must. Because in order for us to continue to use the story and remind all of us as a city who we are and to give voice to those values, we must change the system.
That flag has been flying here for 10 years, and that's not going to change today. It's not going to change tomorrow. This is always going to be a city that is safe and welcoming and amazing and tries to take care of every single person that lives in it.
We have 3 official flags in the city in response to the bill. But most importantly, because that action demonstrates who we are, the values we hold, our commitment to those seen and unseen, out and not, that you are safe, welcome, and wanted here.
I know that the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion are not only right and just, but they are fundamental to America. And though I am not gay, I am not trans,
cringe,
I am not Black, I feel a strong, heartfelt connection to these symbols. They represent our American values, sewn in color and cloth. And so in lieu of this defining legislation, I have determined that when it comes to representing our city's values, I know we can do more than fly a single flag. 3 more, to be precise.
I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm lived out right now, but I feel like something about the delivery. She's got something nice cooking up there. That's pretty good. That's very nice. That was a good speech to end the video. And there, yeah, the people doing the AP News editing, they were like, yeah, she cooked with that one. We're gonna let her sing out the end of the video. Council members in Salt Lake City unanimously approved new designs Tuesday evening. And in Boise, it was a 5-to-1 vote for the proclamation. Very nice. Okay, well, take the positives you can. Yeah, I said this after Trump won. Well, I said this before Trump won as well. But, like, no matter what happens on a legislative level, I really don't think you can undo the cultural assimilation of queer people in America. We've gone so much farther than just gay marriage being legal. That's not the least of, that's nothing, right? Like, Pride months, cities turning into gigantic parties, you know, regularly, every single year in celebration of queer people. There's just so much integration. Yeah, you're not putting all that back in the closet, you know? Dems have been making huge gains at the local and state level since Trump won, often in areas where Dems haven't won in over 100 years, entire county boards being flipped. Yeah, it makes sense. Politics works a little bit better at the local level, at least in the sense that not every election is like 51-49, you know, no matter what happens. Speaking of federal Dems, can you talk about Kat Abu Ghazala? Isn't that the content creator who's running for Congress? Right? A pretty blonde lady? You already covered her? Well, did something happen? The campaign's FEC filings stated that her first week's contributions totaled over $378,000, none from PACs, with the average contribution approximating $32. That's pretty dang good. And then, that's right, that's the new news. Chakowski is not seeking re-election. So she's in an open primary, right? She'd be the youngest woman, first Gen Z woman, and second Palestinian-American woman ever elected as a Congress member. She's Palestinian? She'd dye her hair? Listen, there are diverse people. Yeah, I guess that's true. Bro, her name is Abu Ghazala. Okay, I can't... Listen, okay? I grew up around people who are Arabic, people who are Persian. I can't discern based off the last name. It's not hate. Don't assume based off names. I say, looking incredulously at a blonde woman. You're telling me she's an Arab? Wild. There are some Lebanese Hezbollah members who look like some sort of Irish ginger with pale skin. That's true. You know what we need to recognize, by the way? And I'm about to say something that is either very racist or very based, okay? The Aryan archetype actually has nothing to do with whiteness. You're actually just talking about a specific set of phenotypes that are expressed in all races. And we understood this in the creation of maybe the most scientific and comprehensive understanding of race there is, the Chads by a different name, right? So you have Chad and Tyrone, and then you have, what's the Indian one? You know, there's like 50 Chad names from like a bunch of different races, right? Chadjeet. That's right. Chadjeet. Exactly. Basically what I'm saying is I don't actually think Aryans are real. I don't think that's a real thing. You're telling me that it's like white German people, but also the name comes from Iranian people? This sounds fake to me. I think what you're really talking about is like you got a glint in your eye and a strong jaw, and I think you got that everywhere. Okay? We're talking about a uniformly distributed, like, phenotypical arrangement, right? Because I've seen white people, and listen, there are some okay white people out there, but, you know, even amongst the people with German heritage, most of them aren't hitting those phenotypical, you know. Also, a lot of Aryan features are found in Slavic populations. Yeah. Germans march eastward into Poland, and the average, like, Warsaw Jew has, like, blue eyes and a lantern jaw, and the Nazis were like, ew! The beetle-faced Hitler staring down at photos of people that he's going to order into camps. Nine! Why are they so handsome? Literally, B.J. Blazkowicz. That's true! He's Jewish, right? His mom was? Well, Judaism is matrilineal in a cultural and religious sense, right? I mean, obviously, we're not really talking ethnography here. We're talking culture. Real historical figure? Yeah. It is funny, though, right? That they would take a guy who looks like this and they'd be like, yeah, he kills Nazis. By the way, he's Jewish. Sure. Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking care. Hell yeah. I remember a story of Nazis going to Iceland because they were seen as pure white people, but they were disappointed because Iceland was poor. What? What, did they think they were, like, visiting Hyperborea or something? I've seen so many, like, Chad Norwegian Wojaks. This must be their haven. This must be where the sharpest jaws probably am. I mean, dude, they were really fucking stupid. I don't know. It's every time you make a joke about what the Nazis believed, they actually believed it. Every fucking time, like, legitimately. The only World War II fascist power that had a sensible theory of race was when the Japanese heard the Germans explain what Jews were doing, and the Japanese were like, they sound like a powerful ally. We have to... They did what? Started World War I, collapsed your economy, started World War II, suppressed the entire... Jesus Christ! They control the world? Yeah, we gotta fucking make friends with these guys. They had a Goku attitude towards Jewish people before Goku was even a guy. You know? You sound pretty strong. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go all out. Goku, stop. Get us out of here. Get us the fuck out of here, please. If I recall correctly, didn't Mussolini also be really open about who were the true Italians? Well, Mussolini was different because it's really complicated, but like Mussolini was like the only fascist leader who, how do I put it's complicated. It feels like he had a half-baked version of fascism. Because the truth is, in order to make fascism work, the population has to be stupid and militaristic and zealous. And usually race theory is a really good way of getting people to act like that. Like to have really strong ideas about like nation, conquest, warfare. You need like really big narratives that kind of supersede the value of human life, right? You need to talk about like the innate superiority of different groups of people over others. It's kind of the only way to rile people up to that extent. And he did a little bit, but he didn't have like a comprehensive theory about it the way the Japanese did with their imperial, you know, their imperial mandate, and the way the Nazis did with their race theory. Like it wasn't that he wasn't racist, because he was, for sure. It's just, he probably would have been a lot more dangerous if he had spent more time pushing that, I think. What about Franco? It's kind of hard to tell with Franco, I think, because he never had enough power in Spain to really like consolidate. He was fighting the Civil War the whole time. He never like had that moment where he sat down and was like, all right, now that I'm in charge, I get to do what I want. We didn't really get to see that. But yeah, no, he also didn't have, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, Franco was a little more committed to it. He just didn't get to do a lot of what he wanted. It probably would have gone like more out of control if he had actually had the consolidation he was looking for. Anyway.